Szalay from Habitat for Humanity. We're going to get started in just a few moments, making sure we've got all of our bells and whistles able to take care of you guys. Hopefully you've got some comfortable beverage and chamomile tea or maybe some ice cream. Make sure I understand all the controls here as we practiced. I've been looking forward to talking to all of you guys all day. Just looking through who's on there. Got a few more RSVPs. Maybe we'll just give them an extra second. And depending which watch I'm looking at, I got 8 p.m. on my wristwatch, and I've got a couple minutes after on my phone. So I'm trusting Verizon is right, being at 8:01. I should probably adjust my watch here. It's not going to have sunlight. All right. Well, I'm going to ask our Director of Communications, Amy Ballestier, if this is indeed recording. I think it is, but I just want to double check. Actually, never mind. Amy, I got that covered. I see it's recording. So, hi, everybody. Thanks so much for making time this evening. Want to be able to give you kind of the end of the year report on exactly where Lancaster Lebanon Habitat for Humanity settled up and where we are now. And our annual report, we put one out last year. Should have been doing a lot longer, but we want to make sure you guys are well briefed now and understanding the state of the organization in spite of adversity, how we're meeting the challenges, and where we're going next. And updating you on exactly where that is critical, because we feel like this is your money, it's your organization. If anything, we're trying to run this like an association or your organization on how we're doing this. So our home buyers and our homeowners are all about who we're focused on, but in a lot of ways, getting them into a better position in life is also about making sure we're all in tune with our volunteers and with our funding partners. So thanks so much for thinking about Habitat for Humanity and being here tonight. So I've put together a couple of these slides, and here we go. And wanted to walk you through some of the updates here. Let me introduce myself very quickly. I am the executive director. I've been in the position since May 2018. I've been in the Lancaster area working for this affiliate since the end of 2017, and it's been an absolute pleasure to work with the board directors, get to know all the volunteers, and a lot of our partners. And staff has been pretty outstanding. I'll talk about them in a moment. I wanted to give you guys a reminder of exactly what Lancaster Lebanon Habitat for Humanity and Habitat for Humanity in general is focused on. What we are is a nonprofit that is seeking to put God's love into action. We bring people together to build homes, community, and give hope. And our vision, which is the same across every Habitat for Humanity affiliate in the United States, there's about 1,200 of us, about 300 about our size, a larger side. And there's other organizations of Habitat for Humanity globally. We're in about nearly 70 countries. We believe that everyone deserves a decent place to live. We subscribe to a set of core values that Habitat for Humanity International, our parent organization, believes in. And we've also since gone a little deeper. Those old core values have been around for a couple of decades. And we decided, well, we understand this organization and what the needs for Lancaster and Lebanon are here in central Pennsylvania. So we've actually modified them slightly. We keep the exact same one, demonstrate the love of Jesus Christ, but we also are focused on some other areas, and we decided to single out the cause of home ownership. We wanted to single out the element of safety, and not just safety on the job site, but safety in all of our products. Our financial products are essential in this day and age. A focus on their volunteers and rewarding experience, and also the specialized knowledge we have, not just on building, but actually on low-income home ownership. There is a lot of knowledge out there on low-income housing at large, but low-income home ownership is a specialty of Habitat for Humanities, and we want to make sure that we're capitalizing and being thought of as a thought leader and voice on that. We'll be continuing to develop that over the coming years, and with your help. I always want to make sure when we're talking about our annual report and our performance, you understand that we have leadership from a board of directors. I work for them as a collective group. And right now we've got 12 members or 13 seats. It can go up to about 18. We're looking for new members now. The governance committee is going to be doing some of that selection. And our current board president is Gary Geisert from Moravian Manor. Our vice president is Adrian Squillis from PNC Bank. And our treasurer is Mike Montero from Benefix. And our secretary is Brandon Lehman from Orrstown Bank. In addition to the board members listed there, we also have an advisory board, which is kind of our planning and quick reaction group that gets all of our monthly and weekly updates on what's going on, the inside baseball of what is going on in Lancaster Lebanon Habitat for Humanity. And it includes the current 4 officers and several of our active and involved former board presidents. So let me explain what we're going to review with you, and what I want to consider as a piece of protocol. And then I'm going to kind of give you the context of the organization and where we're going next for the rest of the, I guess, this current fiscal year in FY21. We're talking, the numbers I'm going to share are the numbers from July 1st, 2019 till June 30th of this year. They're based on the preliminary audited financials, so they're not final. They haven't been approved by the board of directors that we just mentioned. These numbers are best figures for stating exactly how we've performed for the period. And we're going to be using these to share our IRS 990 on our website. You'll be able to review that. You can look at our previous ones. Most readily on GuyStar. We're going to make sure they're readily available on our website in the future as well. And then we also file a BCO 10. All of this is under license as a nonprofit business, a 501c3 under the IRS law. So let me talk about this tale of 2 years. Since July 1, 2019, we've had quite the experience. In the first half of all this, we were in a number of transitions. We're growing to use our voice. We connected with a lot of other Habitat affiliates in Washington, D.C. You can see that's where I met with Representative Smucker, and he became a co-sponsor of a key bill on low-income home ownership, providing a special tax credit for future building. And years off, but good partnership. And we started back in January, officially started with volunteers on the Cumberland site. You can see that up in the upper right-hand corner. That's in Lebanon, in those 3 beautiful homes. I think most of you on the watching this tonight are familiar with them. And then we had another big transition where we had Jim Eberly, our long tenured director of construction, retired in January and moved on. Doing reasonably well. He changed his position for health concerns and called it a tenure. We were sad to see him go. I was actually trying to see if we can hang on to him a little longer, but things are what they were, and we were. These are our thoughts and prayers actually quite often. And then We were also in the process just, I think last November and December, of upgrading some of our technology in the office. We've already gotten a new server or a central PC for connecting a lot of our files and so forth. And also some of our securities, updated a number of computers among the staff, so we're a little bit faster and more connected. And then we also, I think it was November, where we took all those telephones you see there in the bottom right-hand corner, and we upgraded to a Vonage system where it's voice over the internet protocol, and I'm able to get a lot of my phone calls from the office on the cell phone or through my laptop, and the staff is the same way. So we made that change. We're able to be a little more decentralized, and we were hoping it was going to enable more of a physical and regular presence in Lebanon, in Colombia, Lidditz, wherever we needed to be, meeting with partners, funders, and our volunteers, and being on the job sites and fully connected, answering phones and questions about our community. We didn't realize that it was well timed, because now, as we all had to shelter in place during the pandemics, when the pandemic struck, we were still very well connected. When the pandemic struck, we went through a great deal of transition, great deal, all the same uncertainty you guys went through. We didn't know whether this was going to be just 2 weeks and we'll get through this, like one bad long snowstorm, just, eat a lot of canned soup and dig out, and we'll be back together. And 2 weeks turned to 3 weeks, and then it became a month and 2 months, and it stretched on. Lancaster Lebanon Habitat for Humanity had to shut down first its restore as a non-essential operation. A restore is well known as being a somewhat of a hardware store to some people, but it's not. Unfortunately, it didn't rise to the essential of a hardware store, because we don't have a steady flow of products and goods that people might need. For instance, you couldn't go in there to get the key things to reliably to be able to fix some of the things in your plumbing or whatnot. However, you're able to get furniture. You're able to get the building materials to fix a great deal many things, and we might even have the gasket that you needed to be able to replace something on the furnace. It just depended. But the store, like many other places, had to shut down. That had a reverberation effect on the whole team, and of course, by the latter half of the week in March, construction as a non-essential, non-life-sustaining business was shut down as well. So we the whole operation closed down. We furloughed a number of our staff, I believe 10 of our 14 staff, salaried people at the time. We were fortunate to have an AmeriCorps member able to help us out. And not knowing what to do at that time, at first, we decided to focus on those core values. In fact, I'll just taper back to that real quick. We decided to think about, what do we do in this moment when we're not normally building? What should we be focused on? And providing broad access to affordable home ownership through hands-on investment and learning was what we needed to sustain. Safety, volunteer experience. So we needed to ensure that we were going to be lasting much further into the future and last and weather through the storm. So we made sure that we were going to steward your gifts and your resources effectively, so it was able to keep building as soon as the opportunity provided for us. That our home buyers were going to be able to get into their homes. We also decided, because of our knowledge around housing for low-income home ownership opportunities, we had a unique spot to be able to provide some insight. And this really came into some specialized knowledge areas when we were talking with the city. We're talking with the other nonprofit leaders like United Way and Tabor about what it meant to have an escrow. And if you're not able to pay that mortgage payment, if you're not paying the escrow, there's not just a risk of foreclosure by the lender, but then by falling further behind on the government taxes or your hazard insurance. So the risks there were a whole different level. Perhaps you can forego some principal for a while, but the government or the insurance provider needs to be able to eat their portion of the resources there as well. So that was another risk. We were able to weigh in a couple of times about the foreclosure moratoriums and the eviction moratoriums that were out there in the community, but it's mostly focused on the home ownership side, but obviously connected as well as to the rental area as well, because our home buyers are all renters until they get into their Habitat homes. We also focused on communications and talking with our network to make sure we were sharing that knowledge, and we did more regular video meetings over Facebook Live broadcasts, and sending out more regular updates about the status of our home buyers and our homeowners. And at the time, and still currently, there's nearly 90 outstanding mortgages of our 250 homes that we've built. So we shuttered, and very soon we're able to come back around June. Very happy to say that we're able to even expand our staff. We ended up coming out of the storm with the complete team that we had actually hired. We hired somebody to be on the construction staff, adding on back in March, and we're supposed to start right when the whole thing began. We're able to take care of our staff during that whole time with insurance at the very least, and PPP loan, which we got $170,000, and we also got the Small Business Administration's emergency investment grant, which was the $150,000 we got, which you'll see on the grants list over here. This is the core part of what the annual report really presents, beyond some of the stories and anecdotes of our annual report. And let me walk through real quick some of the bottom lines here. Our income is diversified. Lancaster Lebanon Habitat for Humanity gets it from a number of sources. The core things that we're very proud of, and we like to remind you about, that it gets leveraged and doubled up many times over, and helps make sure that your individual gifts, the contributions line there, is really put in towards the program and services. The restore sales and the mortgage income really helps out providing for the operation, the overhead, in a lot of ways that you see there under the blue side, where it says operating and fundraising. And it allows our contributions to be really focused on in the grants, be really focused on the home building and the program services. We do have the restore sales. That is driven by donations and our customers coming in. General theory around this is largely, if we build it, they will come. If we supply the store well enough with good product that we know our customers want, then they'll be able to come support us. And we like to keep reminding people that by shopping there, you're helping transform a life, you're helping build a home. And we're going to continue to try to emphasize and maybe connect that through a variety of means, both through social media and in person shopping experience of the store. Contributions, I firmly believe, is still our bread and butter, especially when it comes to individuals. It's individuals at churches, it's individuals at businesses, it's individuals, volunteers and other contributors that are driving the organization. And if we're not connected, both in time and money, then the impact we have on the program side under all those that blue disc and our impact through homes and changing lives just isn't the same. Habitat for Humanity is supposed to be a movement and not just a nonprofit that is having an impact family at a time, but we want to be able to do it in larger scale. And we see it as a ministry where it's yes, we're building homes, changing people's lives there, but there's also the volunteer aspect. And if you're not able to volunteer and you are able to give your resources and financial means or other materials, resources to help the organization, then it matters just as much. And you're helping build homes too. And I'm hoping that is ministering to you. Sales to homeowners, these were our settlements. You see at the bottom there, we listed out the new Habitat homeowners, 3 of them. That we were supposed to have 4 last year, but there was 1 settlement that was postponed into the next fiscal year. And there was even a chance we were talking at one time trying to squeeze in as many as 5, but those 2 got that pushed into this fall or late summer, fall that we're still working on. But very happy that we've got those sales in, and that counts as future revenue in the mortgage income that comes in. Grants, obviously, you see that there is a large part where the PPP and the EIDL from Small Business Administration, all thing, which is the first loan before the PPP, which was under the CARES Act. Mortgage discount amortization, happy to take more detailed questions on this one, but largely suffice to say, this is the income that goes onto our books annually because of our mortgage value, the whole portfolio of those 90 or so mortgages, the future income, and what it's really where it really gets valued at on an annual basis, one at a time. And so it comes in and it's hefty. Definitely has a value of monthly mortgage income. Our special events, things like our home tour, the sponsorships, including the Extraordinary Give, are all under special events. Again, going to my point about it being individuals. We're supposed to be a movement about changing people's lives and ministering to each other by helping out our neighbors. So that's also another element to that, but we categorize under special events. And oh yeah, and the Lebanon auction, of course. So we've got a number of those events, and hopefully a couple of new ones that might be coming out. We were supposed to have a golf tournament with Warfel Construction. Of course, got postponed because of COVID, and I'm hopeful we'll be able to do that next year. And then there's a number of miscellaneous income sources that comes in here from a lot of business transactions, sometimes other assets that move around, and that categorized in what we have the 2.2 or almost 2.3 mil there. So on our program side, let me lump this up. So we call a program services to distinguish and restore as 2 of our mission outputs, because program we normally think of as our home ownership program, building the homes, selecting families, making sure the volunteers are served, and the building of the homes, and the restore as an element of program function of where we're serving families and building revenue to be able to help support the operation at large. And of course, every restore through the year, restore is contributing to these homes at the same time. As you can see, it definitely matters on the bottom line. So the those 2 things combined for all of our mission impact in a lot of ways, making home affordable, whether it be through the program or from restore, is it's 77% combined of what we're putting in. And so if you combine the operating expenses and the fundraising, that's 23% right there. And while we're waiting for the final audited financials to come in to really give us the accurate figure, the last couple of years, it's actually the money we spend to raise $1 has been going down. As of last year, it was 24 cents on the dollar to raise those contributions, the individual dollars, and we're not talking about all the restore cells and so forth, all that other money, but the actual fundraising and people giving gifts to Habitat for Humanity, that's been coming down, and we're looking forward to seeing the number for this year. So let me tell you about where we're at now with our current projects. And there you see Cumberland Street on the left. That is our large rehab. I visited it this morning. I saw John, our AmeriCorps, and our volunteers. And that middle home that's currently white, practically a brand new build for Ronnie. It's got the ducting in there for the heating system. The electrical is going into place. It's almost ready for drywall. They're putting in the windows and doors on Friday. And can't wait to see the photos from that because I can't make it up there that day. But if any of you guys are volunteering up there, so shoot me a message or maybe send me something or a tweet or an email. Love to see those. I'll be probably up there next week. And I put up this other photo here, and this is from East Strawberry in the city of Lancaster. Because we've obviously gone from a time period where we're not wearing masks and we're all collectively together, and then we had a site blessing, very unlike the big gala site blessing like thing we had at the mansion on 5th next to the Cumberland Street build up in Lebanon in January. We went to a smaller style event next door, or right outside the steps at East Strawberry, and broadcasted over Facebook Live. We're going to follow a similar model for a small group in broadcasting over Facebook Live for 530 Howard Avenue coming next week. And I think if you haven't checked Facebook, there's an RSVP there if you want to be able to get your reminder so you can see the prayer and some of the remarks there. Homebuyer Manny is going to be there. So these are our properties. There's obviously Cumberland continuing and chugging along. We're just settled since the new year, 320 South Christian. That completes all 4 of the South Christian Street houses, those beautiful red brick row homes. And we're waiting to settle on 651 Fairview Avenue. We're doing a short-term lease. We've already got the home buyers moved in there, and can't wait to hand them over the deed. We've got, of course, Cumberland, those 3 units. 423 Strawberry Street, we're chugging along there. I think they just got the bath in and putting in some new windows and handling some of the structural issues. But the whole upstairs has been completely reconfigured for the better, and it's going to make a nice bathroom that's accessible, not by going through a bedroom but just right off the hallway. So it's very a lot of equity there. And 530 Howard Avenue, we're just waiting on the permit, but we're having our site blessing next Friday afternoon. We're working on gathering a couple more properties for us. I'm optimistic. Well, we will definitely have some new builds coming up by next summer in a portion of Lancaster County, and we're talking with the city about a couple of other lots that we may be able to combine and get some new builds. We also acquired a property on South Lime Street over in Southeast, and it's a large 5-bedroom. We're really excited to be able to use that for one of our larger families. So we'll start on that sometime next spring. This is what we're all doing our building for. This is what we're all fundraising around. I could talk about how homes are important, but I'd like to put it more in terms of how homes transform lives. Home ownership transform lives. These are our current home buyers. They're going to be repaying an affordable mortgage, building up savings and equity, a place they can lay their head. A place they can heal, they can shelter in place, they can self-quarantine if they need to. We talk a lot about our homes and Habitat for Humanity's work as community builders, but there's another aspect where our homes are also someplace very, very private. It's someplace that we invite people in, people we love, people we like, people we want to get to know better. We're really excited to be able to help them have a place that they can grow stronger, a little bit more wealthy, and contribute to our community as they have that strength to carry on and pass on. I'm super excited to be able to build alongside them. And every time I see them, be it at the restore, at the office, or in their own home, helping swing the hammers, it's a journey that's just begun. It's a journey that's just begun, and that so many people have helped contribute to, be it through the Renovators Home Tour, be it through your recurring gift through our website, the Extraordinary Give, or your hours volunteering. It's a beautiful community. It's a movement. Habitat for Humanity is a movement. I want to say thank you. I missed the day when we were all crowded, maskless in Cumberland Street. Here it is when it was empty. You've actually got flooring in there and stairs, ducting for heat, and wires for lights and plugs. And there's going to be new windows and insulation. Thank you. And I can't wait to introduce you to all the home buyers in person. Let me take this off and just go back to my big screen here. Does anyone have any questions? You can put it in the chat box, or you can feel free to take yourself off of mute. And if you want, you can turn your camera, but I won't obligate you that. Just checking my text messages too. Sometimes you guys reach out to me that way. I'll just give it another moment, see if there's any questions, or if I need to go back and look at anything else there.
So, Andrew, the only comment I have is that I'm a willing volunteer, and I enjoy and privileged to be able to participate in your program. So that's why I'm here tonight, just to listen to the outcome. And
Sure.
So I'm quite privileged to be able to be part of this, and I appreciate that. So thank you for doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you, Tiger.
Yep.
Cheers. Brenda, your question, in the financial statement, do salaries fall under the operating line? Not entirely. A large portion of my salary does. I think all, if not, I think 90% of our director of operations, our CPA, his does. For instance, our construction supervisors and some of the other salaries fall under program. The restore staff all fall under the restore naturally. So it just depends on program functions. It's dispersed program specific. So if they end up doing a function in a different area, for example, we can actually reallocate things as things move along. So we get a very real sense of where the money belongs. Great question. Thank you. And I should mention that the annual report, if you guys haven't already looked at it, has more information than I provided here. There's stories about our home buyer, one of our homeowners, one of our volunteers, and has a message from Gary Geisert and myself, and kind of a context about some of the fundraising we've done with the Resiliency Fund. And one of my favorite things that we're starting to do is promoting a legacy builder circle for estate planning. It's got a great logo and lapel pin too. That's pretty exclusive. Any other questions or thoughts? If not, I'm just going to throw that last slide back on there with my contact info. go to the end. There we go. So there's my phone number. I'm extension 206. If you guys want to give me a call, if I'm not there, I'll leave me a message. I'll give you a call back. And there's my email. And I think with that, I'll say good night. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for supporting homeownership and Habitat for Humanity. Have a very good night. Bye.
Thank you.
And you're welcome.
Be well.